Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is super exciting. We're playing TORREY PINES South Course, home of the 2021 US Open and Farmers Insurance Open every year. We're playing it from the tip, 7,800 yards. It'll be really fun. Pretty good day, so let's see what we can do, and yeah, let's get right into the video. First hole here at TORREY PINES South, a little up from the tips. 431, green's right up there. Grip and driver right at those bunkers with a little draw. Try to put it in play and let's see how we do today. Drove in the fairway bunker, got 162 yards to that pin and just deadly. Be insulating out towards that center tree and just trying to put this on the green. So let's see what we can do. Need to make sure this one gets out. Hold it. Go.
Short of that buck.
Not the best opening hole there, but that is a very difficult hole to start out on. We're on the second hole. 389, pin is directly over that bunker. So it runs off the right or you rip and drive it directly over that bunker. Try to put ourselves in a good position to have a wedge into the screen, and let's see what we can do from there. Really good drive here. Unfortunately, had to move up to the actual black tees. Started here. Apparently doesn't want people playing from the tips, which is the only reason I came out here. But of course, we'll play easier. So let's see what we can do from there. 52 yards. Let's see if we can put it close.
That's up.
Shot.
Oh, I got a par. Oh, so did it grab your club more? Yeah, you got.
Another unfortunate bogey there. Hit a really good drive and unfortunately just messed up that second shot a little bit. We had some tough pins today and it looks like they're all in pretty tough spots, so it's gonna be fun. Third hole here, definitely the signature hole on the course. 160 yards, playing 140. Gonna be hitting a knockdown niner right at the center. Wind is off to the right, so let's see if we can put this on and try to make a birdie. So there was a little problem with today's round. Apparently Torrey Pines didn't want me to film for some reason. They thought it was going to take too long. So I was not able to do any intros after this point. So the rest of this round is just going to be a voiceover. A little disappointed with Torrey Pines. Went out to play from the tips. You guys have seen I've played courses from the tips before, playing Whistling Straits, Kapalua, and just unfortunately Torrey Pines just kind of dropped the ball and wouldn't let me play from the tips, which really sucks. So I was playing this course a little bit shorter, still played over 7,000 yards, which is still definitely a good test, but just a little disappointing. Anyway, I made do, so made a good par here. Fifth hole is a 404-yard par 4. Pretty narrow fairway, just trying to hit driver up that right-hand side. With a little draw, wind is off the right. You can see the paragliders there off to the right of the screen, so that was definitely a pretty cool sight. But yeah, second shot, hit it pretty well, got only 121 yards in, hitting a 50-degree wedge here. And the greens were still firm, but not as firm as tournament conditions. And I will be doing a what's in the bag coming up soon to kind of go over what's in my bag. But I'm using right now the Pro V1X Left Dash, which is a lower spinning golf ball. And you'll see where this ball ended up in a second. This ball landed 10 feet from the pin and spun all the way off the front of the green. So it just shows you there's a lot of slope, and these greens were still pretty quick. And like I said, they weren't super firm, but they weren't soft either. And I hit a decent putt here, just misread it a lot. Left myself not the easiest comebacker for par. And, I mean, these are tour greens and broke a lot. So, kind of shows that, my putting needs to get a little better, especially playing tour courses. There's just a cool view from the 6 tee box of the canyon to the right and then the rest of the holes to the left. Anyway, 6th hole is a 530 par 4 or par 5. Played as a par 4 for the U.S. Open from the tee box, but I'm playing as a par 5 today. First, taking it over the left center of this tree. Hit it well, cut it a little bit too much. You can see I'm kind of going up to make sure it stayed in. It was fine. We got out there a long way. Had 219 yards into this pin. Downwind, hitting a 6-iron here. And the rough here, they renovated the course a couple years ago. Right for the U.S. Open. And the rough is a mixture of different types of grasses, so you never quite know what you're going to get. So I was playing for this ball to jump a little bit. And just came out normal, so I hit it pretty well. Just landed on the front edge and stayed there. Still not a bad shot. There's like a mixture of 3 different types of grasses, so it's difficult to kind of judge how it's going to come out. It didn't hit a bad chip here. This one rolled by a little bit. There is a backstop. I was trying to roll it back down. Just didn't quite get to roll down enough. But still, only got about 8 feet for birdie here. A lot of break. This hole is in a little bit of a valley, so I was trying to play a lot of break and just played a little too much break for that speed. They're tough greens. Obviously, you look at the Farmers Insurance every year, the scores aren't super low. And obviously the U.S. Open in 2021, that played real tough. Moving on to hole 7 now, 443. Slight dogleg right. I'm just trying to hit a driver. Started just inside those trees on the right with a little draw. Hit this one really nicely. You can see it just kind of drew a little too much. It's heading towards those left bunkers, so just tried to have it hang on and got real lucky. This ball just stayed out of it. So I got 138 yards here. Didn't have the best lie. Ball was going to be definitely above my feet, and it was back into the wind, so I'm hitting a soft 9-iron here. Just trying to get something in. You can see how much I'm choking down that club, but just trying to hit this front right pin location. Started a little right, which kind of scared me. Did start drawing back and ended up being one of my better iron shots. that day. And yeah, you can see just got about 10 feet here for birdie. And this was a pretty simple putt, just breaking a little bit to my left. And I thought I missed this putt when I first hit it, but just kind of hung on and caught that edge. So that felt nice to get a birdie, especially on a tough course. 8th hole, 152 yards uphill. Hitting a 9-iron, because it's supposed to be, it was playing downwind. Pin was just slightly up. So I'm thinking just a full 9. Wind's going to cancel out the uphill. And I hit this exactly how I wanted to. You can see, kind of judging by my reaction, just came up a little short. One thing I did like though is around all the greens there's this very tightly mown area, so it was very easy to get spin. So that made these kind of short wedge shots a lot easier. And you can see here just had about 2 or 3 feet to clean up my par, so that was definitely nice, and just able to roll that one in. 9th hole now, really disappointed. This hole plays 6:15 from the tips. I was playing at 5:35, which definitely took a lot of pressure off, because there's bunkers which from the tips are always about 280 off the tee. And you know, that's right about where I land my ball, which would have made it real difficult. And from these tees, obviously, those bunkers aren't really in play for me. So hit it pretty well. A little left of the fairway, got 222 in. It was a front pin again. So just hitting 5-iron. And this doesn't look like it's a lie that should jump. Yes, and sorry about that. I was having some trouble with my camera, so a couple of the videos got cut short. But put it on the back edge of the green. That ball definitely jumped. And had probably about a 45-50 footer for eagle here. Hit it with great pace. Just didn't get it to break. Just rolled about 2 feet past. And I'm really taking my time on these greens because they are definitely tough. Even these little short 2-footers. But able to roll this one in nicely. So 2 birdies in my last 3 holes. Gets me to +2. Definitely happy with that after the start I had. 10th hole, 371. It was playing a little downwind, so I mean, I gave this one a rip. And this is probably one of my best driver swings of the day. Cut right out the center. And I mean, this ball, you'll see, ended up in the greenside bunker in 1. One thing about Torrey Pines, and you know, it's kind of weird, it is a municipal course, so even though the sand looks nice, it was very shallow, and very light, so the club kind of went right through it, which really made hitting quality bunker shots difficult. For other tournaments, they obviously put new sand in, but playing this in early August, definitely not in the tour conditions. You can see this chip here, did not hit it well. Left myself a 15-footer for par, which was really disappointing after essentially driving the green. But got a 15-footer here, just trying to roll this one in, put a good stroke on it, and was able to drop it in. So that definitely felt nice to roll on that putt, but not what we really wanted after driving the green. And now for probably the stretch of toughest holes on the course. 11, par 3, hitting a 5-iron here, 199 straight into the wind. Trying to knock this ball down, and yeah, I left this ball way out right. I had about 50 yards, I think, into this green, and where this pin is, it's very narrow, so just trying to put a good wedge on here. Clipped it nicely, and just kind of spun a little bit. Came up a tiny bit short, but I mean, I only have about 10-12 footer here for my par, so after rolling the putt on the last hole, I was feeling pretty good and put a good stroke on it. Just broke a little bit more than I thought it would, so a little disappointing, but that's still a tough hole. And definitely here's one of the toughest holes on the course. 458 still a beast when you're playing into pretty much a club-and-a-half headwind, so just trying to flight this ball down. Did that nicely. got to chase out, and problem with it was I rolled it into this bunker at 202, and I hit it a long way. 202 into the pin. I'm playing at about 225 out of the bunker, so I'm hitting a 4-iron. And I gotta apologize for after this. This ball ended up just off the green, and I was able to chip it close and make my par. Unfortunately, I had some camera issues, and that did not record. 13th hole, I did go back to the tips here, so you can't see any tee markers. It's such a different hole. You're hitting over the canyon here. Really makes it difficult. Hit it well. So problem is from the back tee, it's about 320 to carry this bunker, so just didn't carry it all the way. So having to lip with a pitching wedge, or a 9-iron here. I'm just below that lip. Really unfortunate because I wanted to get there in 2, but was able to get it pretty much down to the lower flat part. If you guys have seen this hole, it really drops off before you get to the green. You can see how uphill this is. At 118 yards, I'm placed about 135. I mean, it's just, and it's downwind, just to show you guys how much uphill this is. And unfortunately, this ball jumped, so ended up on the back edge of the green. And this putt is very similar to the putt Tiger Woods had in 2008, except his was for eagle, and the result was very different. I left mine short. He ended up making his putt in the second round. So just, I mean, I thought that putt was going to be a lot quicker than it was. It just came out a little softer. Lengthy par putt here, and just missed it. I never like making bogeys on par 5s, and that one definitely hurt. Anyway, moving on to hole 14, 414. A little bit of a breather. Still not an easy hole. There's really no easy hole at Torrey Pines, but definitely a little bit of a breather. Swung this ball at that tree, at the trees on the right, and winds off the left, so just hitting a draw into it, and was able to hit this one pretty solidly and get it up that right hand side. We had a really tough pin location here. It was back left into the wind, so I'm just trying to knock down a 9-iron here from 135. Fortunately, just took a little too much off of it. And you see that swing was pretty short. So, unfortunately, ended up on the front, just out the front of the screen. So, it was about a 45-footer. Not what you want to be leaving yourself at Torrey Pines. Any putt's hard, and especially the long lag putts. Did not hit this putt very well. Ended up about 6-7 feet short. Luckily, once you get on top of this little plateau, it is a pretty easy putt. So I was able to roll this one in, save my par. And here on 15, there's a big difference between the tips and the tees I was playing. The tips were 517, which really makes this hole play tough. Normal tees are 394, made it a lot easier. Was playing into the wind, tried to knock it down. Did just slide a little bit too far left on me, so just missed this fairway to the left. 125 yards, and you can see that ball is sitting down quite a bit, but it's hard to tell if it's going to jump. So I was playing it to jump because we were into the wind, and I just thinned the crap out of this ball. Luckily, the pin was up, and I was able to keep this ball on the back edge, because a downhill chip would have been a lot more difficult than this downhill putt. This putt does have a lot of break to it, so just try to lag it down there. It's about a 45-footer. And as soon as I hit that hill right there, really started snapping. You guys can't see it, but this putt nearly went in. Maybe a foot away, so for that putt, I was pretty happy. And especially to walk off with a par for that second shot. 16 here, 207 plays dead into the teeth. Just knocking down a 4-iron here. Really trying to work on with my coach, hitting these little flighted knockdown shots, and hit this one real nicely. Was tracking at the pin, ended up just left of it, so I had about a 15-footer here. This putt has a lot of break to it. You'll see where I'm aiming it, and just lipped it out. Had a lot of break to it, and just hit a little too hard for that pace. Still nice to knock it in for a par, though.
Final 2 holes here, 17. Not super hard, par 4. The bunker on the right does squeeze the fairway, so I'm ripping a driver right at it with a draw. I was feeling good with the driver all day, and this is definitely one of the best swings of the day. Absolutely roped this one. I was up with just 114 yards in. Was playing a little uphill, so playing at about 120, which for me is just a smooth swing 50-degree wedge. Hit this one real nicely. This pin was tucked on the right-hand side. Did end up being a little too safe, went more at the middle, but pretty good for distance. Had no more than 25 feet here for my birdie, which isn't great from 114, but isn't bad. I definitely would rather be here than off the green right. Hit a good putt, just slid a little bit more on me than I thought it would, but able to tap in for par. Now moving on to hole 18, 522 yards, and just this really need to hit a good tee shot here to have a chance to get there in 2, even at 522. So setting it again with driver, starting it up the right once again, and just hitting a consistent draw. Really nice swing. Was happy to put one more ball in the fairway, and I had about 240. Ball landed real soft, and yeah, I couldn't talk myself into going for it. There is that pond short of the green, so just decided to lay up with a 9-iron.
It pained me to do that. It physically pained me to hit a pitching up to a good number.
Ended up being a smart decision to lay up. I left myself with a perfect wedge number, 108 yards. So just hit a knockdown 54-degree wedge. Trying to hit about 110. This ball was looking real good, just right of the pin. And you guys will see nice little plaque here for Tiger coming up. If you want, you can pause the video and read it, but super cool that the USGA dedicated that plaque to Tiger just off the 18th green. Now, only had about 10 feet here for my birdie. I really wanted a birdie to close out this round, especially on 18. My dad had this very similar putt. His broke left, and my putt just stayed dead straight. But anyway, tapped in for par. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.